Live almost. But now we're live. All right.
Hello.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Hey, Troy, how's it going?
Welcome to Tucson.
Look who's here in the studio lounge at the Co-op Solutions Think conference here in Tucson, Arizona, as Troy said. Mr. Troy Stang from GoWest Credit Union Association. Troy, how are you, sir?
It's great to be here. It's great to have Think and Co-op here in
your
Arizona.
neck of the woods.
It's in one of our GoWest states, and we're happy to see this QSO, this collaboration continue to shine.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they're doing such a great job. Everything is really, they just keep raising the bar every year on their content. So yeah, and this year is no different for sure.
It's really, really fascinating as you listen to the conversations in the hallways and the credit unions that are here in partnership with Co-op and their partners are talking about the innovation, talking about market share, talking about the relevancy of credit unions, looking at existing portfolios, but then also looking at what piece of that marketplace don't we have? And how do we, as credit unions, get there, either individually or collaboratively, and getting to scale, bringing innovation to scale, and it's that juice in the hallway is just flowing really well.
I always love the buzz in the hallways. What are people talking about? Because like at GAC, it was liquidity.
Absolutely.
They're still talking about liquidity and the recession playing hide and seek. When's that going to come about? And inflation, all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's great to talk about advocacy, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But I want to find out what are some of your takeaways, what are some of your highlights so far, being an attendee here, because you're walking around the hallways talking to people.
Oftentimes we're hosting the conference, and it's really fun to be a guest and to be able to be at Think. We've got a large number of GoWest credit union members of the association that are here, and so to catch up with my members across the 6 states here at Think is awesome. But to see their interaction with credit unions from across the nation as well is very refreshing. We have been in close contact, obviously, with our credit unions through these economic times, and it's fascinating to me to hear a group of credit union people in these hallways really spend their time talking about the wellness of their members to start off with. Are the members okay? Are they in contact with the credit union? Are they, as they have concerns, those types of things? But the credit unions, all in all, are reporting still great results from their portfolios. I had a chance to take a little break from the conference and go out and visit some of the Tucson area credit unions here that are members of GoWest. And same thing, the credit unions are remaining very, very close with their members, with the community, with the issues within Tucson and the surrounding areas. And that is the DNA of credit unions. That is what's so enriching at a conference like this is the focus on what more can we do for our members.
Yeah, the credit union, or the GoWest Credit Union Association, the expansion is still new to a lot of people, and I saw you here and went, oh, Troy's here. Wait a minute. Oh, Arizona's part of the GoWest. I forgot. So it's really cool to see you here, kind of spreading your wings, if you will, and getting some more mileage in and going out and hanging out with some of the Arizona credit unions that are members of GoWest. So that's pretty cool.
It is, but the reflection that I have, whether you're in Sierra Vista, Arizona, which is another 100 miles south of here, or you're in Tucson or in Phoenix or in Spokane or Eugene or Colorado and Pueblo, the issues that the communities are facing have common threads, and credit unions can be such a set of solution providers in that work.
Yeah, no doubt. So share with me some advocacy efforts that you guys are, because you were talking about some things going on in the government that we need to be aware of, or credit unions need to be aware of, and how you guys are helping out, keeping that on the front burner, if you will.
Yeah, well, thank you. You've been with us on the road of advocacy across the GoWest states.
So much fun, Troy. Those were a blast.
And advocacy never quits, right? It's 365 days a year, and so at the state level, in most of those states that we serve, these legislative sessions have drawn to a close, and we've been very successful in advancing our proactive work in the state capitals, and or also thumbing through the thousands of bills and ideas that come into a legislative body to make sure we've got a credit union impact, or credit union lens on it. In many ways, also pushing back on some legislation that just doesn't make sense. And so it's been a very successful legislative season at the state level. It is no secret at the federal level, we're dealing with a lot of what's in the headlines today. And I think the strongest message that we can deliver publicly to elected officials, to our public policy officials, is again the reminder that credit unions are so different. Our DNA is different. Our structure is different. Yes, we wake up Monday morning or pack up our bags on Friday night and we see the headline of one more bank failing. And it
Yeah.
causes all a little bit of concern.
Yeah.
There is a financial system, there is a regulatory system around that. The things like FDIC and deposit insurance is working the way it's intended. But some of the things credit union specific that we're working on in the advocacy space is to remind public policy and remind Washington, D.C. that we have a structure to credit unions that is so much different. We're not accountable to stockholders. We're accountable first line to our memberships that we serve each and every day. The risk profile is so much different. And we strategically, as a society, as an industry, designed our own insurance fund that was managed by NCUA many, many years ago. And it has worked year after year, cycle after cycle, as it's been designed. And we take a lot of pride in how it was designed. It's different than the FDIC. It is a deposit structured program. Of course, 1% of deposits credit unions hold are on deposit at NCUA versus a premium-based model. And so a lot of the work that we're doing today in advocacy is reminding public policy in Washington, D.C. that the models of the insurance fund, the deposit insurance, is much different. There was recently a government accountability, a GAO report that came out that said, hey, why not combine all of these deposit funds? And we've got to tap we've got to tap the brakes here. There is a reason there's different models. And if you look at the performance of the NCUSIF insurance fund, the steadiness that it has provided to account for the failures in the credit union space has worked decade after decade after decade. And so a lot of kudos to those who are currently at NCUA in our regulatory space or the state regulatory environments. A strong regulatory system is good in partnership with the industry.
Oh yeah, we've learned that very well.
And this has worked well. And so we're spending a lot of time talking about that. It's also no secret that on Monday morning, FDIC issued a report with some recommendations, actually three. To one, either keep FDIC insurance as it is, or potentially raise it.
Yeah, because that's been the 250,000 has been there for quite some time, as I recollect.
I actually was still an employee at Treasury at the time leading up to the Great Recession, where as the federal government, we temporarily in the George W. Bush administration raised it from 100,000 to 250. Okay. And later that was made permanent. Okay. What is that right number? I think is always a policy question. At the time, and I think in some of the thinking today, should it be pegged to some sort of inflationary factor? I don't know what that answer is. If you look at credit unions and the deposits that are at credit unions, again, the large majority of the deposits, like upwards of 92, 93% of the deposits in credit unions are covered by the NCUA insurance today. One of the proposals that the IC is suggesting is, what about payroll accounts for commercial account holders? And it's no secret, we as the credit union industry serve many small businesses across Main Street. And I think what we've learned, if you look at Silicon Valley Bank and some of those failures, the concern, the systemic risk was all the businesses in those portfolios. And what if that bank was left to fail and those payroll accounts? And so one of the proposals FDIC has on the table to Congress, and Congress has a lot of work to do to have plenty of hearings, but should the deposit insurance for account holders of commercial accounts be increased? And that is another place. If FDIC and Congress proceeds with increasing deposit limits on the FDIC side, we need immediate parity and want immediate parity on the credit union side, and we will take care of how we structure that through the management of our own insurance fund that's managed by the NCUA.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, super important stuff. A lot of work, sounds like. And so you guys are going to be right there on the front lines, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's important work. It's important for the industry as these credit union leaders continue to run extremely relevant credit unions, worried about the individual members' concerns. As the association, we spend time making sure the infrastructure, the regulatory environment, and the deposit environment is such that can serve and give the members of the credit unions the confidence needed. But report after report from credit unions is Their members have talked about it, but they haven't seen any deposit flows. In fact, in many cases, so many credit union members are bringing more deposits
Good,
to the credit
good.
unions.
That's good news for sure.
It is.
What kind of wrap up with this? What advice would you have for credit, or do you have for credit unions right now, in the current times? You know, because this is really a time for credit unions to really stand up and kind of shout from the mountaintops that, hey, you know what, we're all right here. You know.
It absolutely is. You know, we talk about credit union awareness and the marketplace.
That's
Not
where the
always,
advocacy thing goes back again.
not always understands who we are and how we're different.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time talking about the structure of credit unions is what makes us different. This
Yeah.
is an important time that we underscore that over and over and over again. Our risk profiles, credit unions, is so much different than a for-profit institution that's focused on stockholder returns. And our number one line of accountability is to the memberships that we serve. We can't get that message out loud enough, far enough to any one of our communities. The other component that we have recognized through this period, and we just saw the Fed increase the rates, Fed fund rates by another quarter point.
Yeah.
The current generation of employees that work for credit unions, especially on the front lines, we have not lived through a cycle of economic times or interest rate changes. And I remember for the years, I spent half my career working inside of credit unions. I remember the years that you'd go out and you'd sell deposit rates, CD rates, you'd sell the safety and soundness, you'd sell the fact that we had deposit coverage. Some of this, Mike, is just a reminder that we've been kind of out of practice because of the economic cycle.
It's a
the interest
reality
rate
check.
cycle.
Yeah.
It's a reality check. We've been selling loans and loan rates
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
So brushing up just personally and professionally in our shops, selling savings, selling the safety and soundness of credit unions, selling the federal deposit insurance or private insurance for those credit unions that have that, it's happened before. We've gone through cycles,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a good reminder.
Yeah, we had quite the time during the Great Recession too. You know, that 2008, 2009 years. Oh my goodness! So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, what a roller coaster that was. But hey, we came out stronger than ever.
I just noticed you've got a friend.
I got a duck.
You got a duck.
I got a duck.
And the Children's Miracle Network.
Right across the way, they're
right
selling
across
ducks
the
over
way.
there to raise money for Children's Miracle Hospitals.
What a great cause, and
Indeed.
a shout out to Co-op and the rest of the credit union community for the great support of that.
Indeed, yeah. Tomorrow's the big race on the
It
Lazy
is.
River.
On the Lazy River.
It's
Buy
the
your
duck
duck
race.
today.
Exactly. So good stuff, Troy. As always, thank you so much. Not only for what you do, but for what GoWest does on a collective basis in all the states that you guys represent. So appreciate all the hard work that you guys do.
Thank you, Mike.
You
Thanks
are
for
welcome. Troy Stang, everybody. GoWest Credit Union Association. Go check them out. Bravo, sir. Good way to wrap it up.
There you go.
Indeed.
Yeah,